Democratised Transport, Logistics and Allied Workers Union has condemned the burning of trucks in KwaZulu-Natal. Detawu says the road freight industry is on the brink of collapse. The union is calling on road freight employers to not dispatch trucks to any of the hotspots to save the lives of workers. Detawu is further urging Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula and Employment Labour Minister Vusi Ntshangase to not only condemn the violent actions but also find lasting solutions to the problem. All right, we're going to Vusi Ntshangase from Detawu himself. Thank you very much, Mr. Ntshangase, for your time. Now, first of all, of course, you're calling for the industry employees or employers, rather, to not let their workers go out there, obviously for their safety. Do you feel that police are doing enough to quell what's happening in KZN?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and to your viewers. First and foremost, we would like to condemn in the strongest possible terms the ongoing violence in KZN and which has taken the posture of torching trucks on our roads. We have issued a statement this morning in relation to that we are concerned about the safety of our members in the road freight industry, because we have realized now that in South Africa it has become fashionable that all demonstrations and protests and protesters will vent their anger by burning trucks on our roads. And this concerns us because every time when a truck is attacked or a truck is burned, it puts the life of our members at risk. And we are also concerned that we think the police minister and the police service as a whole has not been used effectively to respond to the violence that we see, and unprecedented violence that we see in the province, which if the lack of response by the police continues, in our view, this violence is likely to escalate and overlap to other provinces. And before we know it, government will be incapable to contain the violence that we see. And it is in that context that we call upon, first and foremost, the President of the Republic, Cyril Ramaphosa, to come out from the self-imposed exile and condemn the act of violence that we see in South Africa and other parts of the country, but also provide leadership on how is government willing and how government is going to respond to the challenges. We don't want the president that is going to, when the country is on fire, is going to communicate to us through press release and via spokesperson. We would want the president in person to come out and tell us what is government going to do as a matter of urgency to quell the growing violence in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and which is likely to escalate to other provinces. Having said that, we would want the minister, both the Minister of Transport and the Minister of Labour, to urgently engage with employers, not only to condemn the act of violence, but to engage with employers in the industry, to seek lasting solutions, including preparing intervention financial packages that will save these companies from complete collapse. We know how important the road freight industry in the country. Road freight industry as a whole.
Talking about the road freight industry on its own, Mr. Ntshangase, excuse me for coming in there. We already have a battling economy, many industries suffering as a result of COVID-19 and the lockdowns that have been imposed in South Africa since March. I know the freight industry was not really that badly affected because goods and services still needed to get to certain points. But having to stop business as well because of this protest, I imagine, would also frighten not only the employee, but your members as well.
Indeed, the road freight industry as alone employs more than 200,000 workers in South Africa. It contributes almost 300 billion GDP per annum. And it's an industry that cannot be left unassisted and unattended when it goes through what is going through. That is why we are calling upon the Minister of Labour and the Minister of Transport to urgently meet with employers and prepare intervention packages that will ensure that jobs are not lost and that will ensure that companies do not go down as a result of what is happening in the industry. We support the call by employers that they will no longer be dispatching trucks in all the areas or in all the hotspot areas where we have seen the growing act of violence. And today we'll also be issuing a call to all our members to refuse taking trucks when they are deployed to all those areas that we regard as hotspot areas, because by so doing they will be placing their life at risk, and this will be doing it under the under the law of occupational health and safety. We are not going to allow our members to become victims of the circumstances when government is clearly not intervening in an expeditious manner that would justify the cause.